In the next few hours, you will learn how to use the outstanding GreenSock animation library called GSAP. You will learn how to develop advanced web animations from start to finish. You will learn how to create randomly movable objects, create animations that follow the cursor, how to move the web page panels, and many more, until finally you develop your own web page end to end. And trust me, GSAP is packed with features that would make most other engines look like cheap toys. Introduction to GSAP. Hi guys, and welcome back to the course. In this section, we're going to do something very exciting. In this section, I will show you how you can use the most advanced and high-performance JavaScript animation library called GSAP. And basically, this is the main topic of this course. And basically, GSAP in the past 3 years is the most advanced tool for the developers to create interactive websites. And I'm currently in the GSAP website, and you can even see from here that you can simply interact with everything, literally everything in your website. So what GSAP makes is basically you can use the cursor and the keyboard in order to interact with basically everything in the website and receive the corresponding animations. So for example, if I go here to that picture and I slide my mouse, you can see how this sphere is moving accordingly the mouse. And so all of those animating effects are done by the GSAP library, which you're going to learn in that course, and you're going to be proficient with it once we finish with the course. So before starting with our first GSAP projects, I just want you to see some showcase GSAP websites so you can get a brief understanding on what skills you are going to get with that course. So for example, if I go here, this is a GSAP based website, and you can see that basically everything is quite interactive. It is appearing in a very nice way, and you have really better control with the mouse. See how professional these websites look, way better even the most advanced and famous websites that you know, for example Facebook or Instagram. None of those websites look in that way. So basically here, when I'm scrolling the cursor, you can see different types of animations and so on. And every website that is created with GSAP has really incredible design, because this library makes the incredible design or achieving the incredible design quite easy. So this is why by learning this type of design or toolkit, actually, you are going to create these amazing websites, and I'm gonna show you later on how you can even do your own page. So once you know what are the benefits of GSAP already, now it is time to start actually learning, and for that reason I'm going to create a simple project and show you how you can easily run GSAP. In fact, you even don't need to install absolutely anything inside your computer, and also I'm gonna provide you the baseline of the project right here. And also every project that we are going to do in this course, I'm going to provide you with the source code that later on you can use in order to show to the employers the work that you have performed in this course, attached to the certificate that you are going to make. So installing GSAP in your code is actually quite simple, and you can simply do it by adding this phrase here, or this statement, which is the link of the GSAP libraries inside your HTML code, and that's it. You don't require absolutely any installations in order to run GSAP. And let's now start and create some simple code so you can get started with GSAP. The very first thing actually that I will do is to create a new folder in which we are going to create our text files, which are going to be HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And actually the GSAP library is implemented in JavaScript, so in this section we're basically going to edit our JavaScript code. So let's create a new folder here, and the folder will be called project 1. And so here in project 1 we'll create a few text files. So just choose your favorite text editor and then create a simple text file here. So you can see that this is a basic text file with no information inside it. So I'll copy and paste this text file 3 times, so we have 3 files, and one of those files I will write index.html, and when I do that I will change the extension of the file to HTML. So let's do it. And now this is your HTML file. Then I will do the same with the CSS. So I will do CSS, actually main, or actually style, it's more popular, style.css. Okay, let's use it. And finally we'll create our JavaScript file. So this file will be called main.js for JavaScript, and change the extension to JavaScript. Now we have all the files needed in order for you to create your GSAP animation. So open all of those files in Sublime Text here, and you can see that once I open them, they're all empty. You can see that. And also, what else I'm going to do, I will run the index.html in the browser. You can actually see it here that there is nothing in this file and nothing is displayed accordingly. Okay, so now everything is displayed in front of you, and we can now actually proceed with our project. So our project is already set up, you have everything you need, and in the next lecture we are going to start by implementing GSAP in the index HTML file and actually do your first animation. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'm uploading completely free programming courses every week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button to get more coding skills. A simple GSAP animation. Hi guys, today we're going to start creating our first GSAP animation, and I wanted to start by creating something very simple so you can make sure that everything works for you quite fine. Now what I will do is we'll create this, which is going to be a circle that changes its color and is doing a simple animation. I will run the file once again so you can see what it is doing. Okay, so you will be able to create this circle and animate it quite easily with GSAP. You will see it is just a few lines of code. But first of all, as a base of our file, we will need to create our HTML data. So let me remove those. And the first thing I will do is I write HTML, press tab, and you will get the whole HTML structure here. So let's add a title for our page, and this will be called GSAP Intro. Okay, and now we would like to create some tags. So our HTML file, it's actually tagged with something. So I will do link. Okay, and here when I press tab, I get these fields here that can be filled. So for rel, I will leave it as a style sheet, and then for the type, I would access the CSS file, which is this one, style.css, and as it is in the same folder, I simply need to write style.css. Actually, I did a spelling mistake here. So style.css, that's it, and I will remove that field here. Okay, now the only next thing that you will need to do here is to create an object which is going to be our circle. So I will do div, and then I will write for the class of div, so class equals to circle. Okay, and after we have our circle that we created, now we would like to access the GSAP library. Okay, which is a JavaScript library. So you can access JavaScript either from the files, as we have main.javascript, or you can access JavaScript from the web using URL. So let's do script, and here instead of type, we're going to use something else. We're going to use src, which is a folder of what we're looking for, and then we're going to place the GSAP directory from their website. So as you can see, when we go to greensock.com, this is the directory for the GSAP. So let's copy that file and then simply paste it here, so you can access your GSAP directory. And finally, we would like to also access the main.js file. Okay, so we have some connection with it, and I will write here script, and there again we're going to write src. And here this will be equal to main.js. So now we have connection to the GSAP libraries, and at the same time we have access to our main file. Okay, but what I'm telling you just now are just both claims. So obviously we're going to first test our connections before using it. So in order to make the foundation for our project, we also would like to update the style.css folder. So obviously in the CSS, as you know, we just add a style to our objects. So since we have circle, let's write circle here, which is the tag in the HTML file, which is this one, okay? And now we're gonna add some attributes to a circle. Let's write background color, okay? It's gonna be blue. And also let's add width, and the width is going to be 200 pixels, okay? Then let's add height, which is going to be again 200 pixels, as this is a circle. Then let's add border radius, which will be 100 pixels, and then a margin, which will be 50 pixels, and then let's write auto. Okay, so this is our CSS file, guys, and this is the circle with all its attributes here. So let's save that and let's rerun the HTML file. But before that, let me add a semicolon here and here, so our file is completed. And also let's save the HTML file. So just save everything by selecting Ctrl S, and then let's rerun everything and let's see what happens. And also, actually, before running it, let's change this from type to href, so we actually refer to the CSS file. Okay, let's save that and let's rerun the code. So you can see that now we're getting a circle that is completely unanimated. But now, after just a few lines of code in the JavaScript file, we're going to make it animated. First of all, always before running a JavaScript file, guys, you always need to make sure that your HTML file is connected to your JavaScript file. And to do that, let's write an alert, and the alert will be hi GSAP. Okay, let's save that and let's rerun everything. And you can see that when we run, we get an alert hi GSAP, which means that the HTML file now is connected with the JavaScript file. Okay, so remove this alert here and let's just write a few lines of code. So let's run a GSAP function called tween max.to, and then we're gonna apply this function to our circle. So let's write circle, comma, 2, comma, and then let's open a curly bracket, and here inside I write background color, and we'll change the background color here to red. Okay, then let's add x equals to 200, which is basically the length of the circle path that is going to run. And finally we write is elastic dot is out. Okay, so this means that we're going to have an elastic movement here, and this one means that we're going to have the maximum speed as well. Let's put a semicolon right now and let's see if our code is running properly. Actually, I noticed that here it should be dot circle, so we can refer actually to the circle tag. And if we run it again, you can see that our circle is moving from blue to red because of the X parameter, and now it's traveling. And also, so because of the X parameter, it's actually moving, and because of the background color changing to red, it actually changed the color to a different one, which is red in our case. Okay, guys, so this is how you actually create an animation that is going from color to another, and it travels some path on your website. This was your first project with GSAP, so congratulations, a very good job done by you. So bear with me in the next video where we're going to start doing more complex animations, including working with SVG files. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. HTML and CSS Project Setup. Hi guys, and welcome back to the course. Today we're going to do some more complex animations. and we're going to start this journey by adding a completely new HTML and CSS formats here. Okay, so first of all, the first thing I will do is to simply update the HTML file, because we're going to create a new GSAP project, but I'm going to use what we already have here. So let's remove the circle that we created here in the HTML file, because we will no longer need it, and I'll create a container. So let's create div, and here I will add ID equals container. Okay, and here in this div is going to be basically all the information that we need, and I'm gonna leave this script file, so we refer to the GSAP and to the our JavaScript file. Okay, so first of all, actually before typing here, I want you to download, actually of course I will add this project and the way it is initially created in the resources folder in the last lecture, so please download it, because inside you will find those two pictures, which is the AutoCAD logo and the JavaScript logo as well, and these are going to be the SVG photos that we will use in our code. Okay, so download the base project one, it will be well referred in the last lecture. Just download it and then start working from it. Inside you will find these two photos, and then you will need to create the HTML, JavaScript and style CSS files from scratch. The only thing you will have here are the SVG pictures. So once you have them here, now you can actually refer to them in your code. And so let's now refer to them. So I write img for image class equals logo. So this will be the keyword with which we are going to refer to that logo. Then let's write src equals javascript.svg, which is our SVG picture. Then out, and out will be equal to project one. Okay, so basically this is your image file, guys, and let's save that. And once this is done, let's go to the JavaScript. Actually, let's delete the information here, save it. Let's go now to the CSS file, and now this is the next thing we're actually going to update. So what we're planning to do now is, first of all, to make the black background that we like and some more parameters in order to set up our page before jumping into the GSAP. So let's write here body, the tag body, and let's write background color, and the background color will be black or 000. Okay, then the margin will also be equal to 0. Then the overflow will be hidden. Okay, and this is all about the body. Then let's create the canvas. Right here, position absolute. Then let's write back face visibility hidden. Then web kit back face visibility also hidden. Okay, let me just change this typo here. Okay, then let's write Moz back face visibility hidden, and finally MS back face visibility also hidden. And don't worry about these parameters, because our code will work even without them. Like if I remove all of those, we will still not have any problems running our code, but I just add them so visually you can better see the objects on your screens, but you actually really don't need that much. Then let's write img, and let's set up the positions of the images. So position absolute, and then cursor, it will be pointer. Okay, so here we just selected the position of the images, and the cursor will be pointer once we're on the images. Then let's add the features of our container, and obviously here we refer to the container in which our images exist. So here when you add container, I will add some attributes. So let's write position absolute, then width 768 pixels, then height 485 pixels, then left will be 0, right will be 0, top will be equal to 0, bottom will be equal to 0, and then the margin will be auto. Okay, so this is your CSS file, guys. This is all you need before using the JavaScript file. So thank you very much for watching that video. Now your project is ready to start being executed. And I really cannot wait until the next video because we are going to start with the JavaScript and GSAP inputs. Thanks for watching. GSAP movement. Hello everyone. As we already created the HTML and the CSS files, now we're ready to start actually working with JavaScript. But first make sure that everything is saved and actually run your file. So the first thing we can see is that the picture is actually not displayed. So the problem was that I didn't add actually the AutoCAD in the JavaScript file in the right folder. So I guess probably if you run the code, it actually worked. And now you can see that it actually works. So what we see now is just how the file is displayed on the black background. And actually, if you're using Google Chrome or any other browser, you can pull up the developer tools. So you can see them here in the bottom, and we can also increase that window as well here. Okay, so also here the code we're gonna write, it might appear in the console and in the elements. And as you can see, for example, now we have only one element, which is the container, and inside the container we have our image. Okay, so here is a very nice way in order to see the elements actually displayed in your HTML file. So now, as I promised, we're going to update the JavaScript, and the very first thing I would like to do is to write GSAP.to, and here I will write the tag of our image, so I write logo. Okay, then let's write duration. Okay, so the duration here will be equal to 2. Then let's write comma x 30. Actually, let's make it 300. Okay, and let's save it. And let's run the code and see what happens. So if I run the code, you can see that our logo is actually moving from left to right. Okay, so for 2 seconds, we would like to move with 300 pixels to the right. This is what we're basically saying here. Okay, so this is that. Now let's create another, a little bit more complex way of moving the JavaScript image. So let's create some background which will consistently appear and get stronger around our image. So if I do GSAP.to and then .logo, so we refer to the right image, we can then write again duration, and the duration I will again make it equal to 2 seconds. Then x will again be equal to 300 as in our previous case. And from here, let's create background color. Actually, I make it a bit bigger. So background color will be equal to, let's add some sort of purple. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3 is the number of that color. Let's add a comma here and let's go to the next row. So here let's write border radius, and this will be equal to 10%. Okay, then let's write another comma, border, and the border will be equal to 5 px solid white. Okay, this is the way we're creating borders. So as you can see, we add certain tags, and we had added here attributes for those tags. We have a border radius and we have the type of border. Okay, 5 pixels solid white. Let's save that, and actually let's add a semicolon and save again. and let's run the code and see what happens. Okay, so you can see, guys, once we run the code, and actually I'll get a bit closer so you can see better. When I run the code, our JavaScript is going from left to right, and also the background color and the border appear smoothly while we're running from left to right. Let me show you again. You can see how the border appears around the picture. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you guys, how you can run this image. Bear with me in the next video, because there I will explain you something about the bouncing types in GSAP, which are actually quite important. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bouncing types. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the course. Today we are going to talk about a very important concept in GSAP, which is called the bouncing types. Well, the bouncing of some object on your screen has two main attributes. It has a value of the bouncing, and it has a progress of the bouncing. Usually the progress refers to type, and the bouncing refers to certain value in the 2D space. For example, if you want a slow bouncing, this is how it would look like. You would have a very sharp increase, then some smooth slope, and then a very sharp ending of your bouncing. And you can see how this bow bounces here. So it is very easy to determine the different types of bouncing style. So actually, these keywords here, you can add them in your code and use them as a reference to the type of bouncing that you want. For example, see steps. Here we're getting different steps. So the bouncing is happening quite sharply on different type of steps. We have cyclic, which is an ellipse. Then we have an expo, which is a higher ellipse. We have rough, which is pretty random, right? Then we have the normal bouncing, which is basically going fast to the end and then bounces. So we have this decreasing increments here. Anyways, so let's go now to the code and let's experiment with a different way of bouncing that we can use. So I'll go here to Sublime Text and I'll remove what we wrote already, and let's now test the different types of bouncing. Actually, let me maintain this line of code, because we can actually update those with the different types of bouncing. So for example, until now we already have this. Let me save it, and we know that our JavaScript is moving like this from left to right. So how we make this to bounce? Well, it is very simple. You simply need to write here is, and then the type of bouncing that you require. For example, if we look our border, and if we would like to make let's say a normal bouncing, I just need to write bounce. So let's try that. So let me write here bounce, and let's save that. Just add parentheses here so your code can be accepted. Okay, and let's save it and let's run it now and see how it will move. So you can see that we obviously go to the bouncing effect. For example, we can change that to back effect. Let's run it again, and you can see that we did the back effect, which made our picture to go further and then move back. Let's try some other types now. For example, let's try the circ type. Okay, if I run it, you can see that it appears in a different way. And let's do the steps, because I'm interested how it will move with steps. So steps. Okay, let's save that and let's run it. And actually, when I run the steps, we get an error. Maybe they removed it from the library. But let's try some other types. Let's try, for example, the elastic. So if I write elastic, you can see how we're going back and then we're going in again. Okay, so basically these are the different types with which you can play around and describe how your objects are basically moving in your website. So this was everything I want to explain you for today. It's very important to know the different bouncing styles, which are called ease. And that's it. I'm very grateful that you watched this video. Watch the next one, because there we're going to add a second object into our screen. Adding second object. Hello everyone. Today I will show you how you can add a second object and make it interact with the first one. So as you know, we already added a picture of JavaScript and another one called AutoCAD. So in order to make everything works properly, here I'm going to remove this line here where we added the logo, or actually I'm not going to remove it, but I want some additional attributes so we can size our image. That is the JavaScript image. So I will write here width, and the width will be equal to 300, and then I will also add height, which is going to be 300 as well, so we can control the exact dimension in that way of our image. Then let's add the other image, and here I will do center and then image, and the image I'm going to add is going to be called AutoCAD. Okay, and this is to what we're going to refer to. Actually, this is the src, which is the folder. So I write AutoCAD dot svg. So here we refer to the image, but I will also add a class. So this will be our tag here. So AutoCAD. So everywhere we use AutoCAD, we're actually going to be able to refer to that image. Okay, then let's write view box, which will be equal to 0, 0, 120 and 161. And after that, I will again write width, which will be 300, and height, which will be also 300. Okay, let's save that. And let's rerun our file and see what happens. So let's first save all the files so we don't get that weird input. And you can see that once we save the main.js without any information inside, we get the JS file or the JS image and the AutoCAD image on two occasions, one near the other. Okay, so now we can play with them. Now, how we can, for example, interact with both objects at the same time? It is quite simple. Let's write GSAP.set. Okay, and inside you can write logo, comma, dot AutoCAD. So now we refer to both files, then comma, and then transform origin, and then let's write here 50%. And then again 50%. Okay, then let's write again GSAP dot to, and here I will write dot logo, then comma AutoCAD. So usually, guys, when you write two files like this means that all the inputs will refer to both files at the same time. It's very important to know that. Let's write here comma, and then I will do duration, which will be equal to 20, and then rotation, which will be equal to 360. Okay, let's save that and let's run the file. And so you can see that, guys, since we updated both files, the duration here is 20 seconds, and we rotate them with 360 degrees, and this is how we applied everything to both files. You can see that they rotate at the same time. So this is how you actually refer and you actually use two files or two images at the same time displayed in your website, just by referring them both in the brackets and then adding the parameters that are affecting their movement. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and tomorrow I will show you how you can change the appearance of your object on your screen. GSAP Appearance. Hello everyone. As I promised, today I will show you how you can animate the appearance of your object on your screen. And let me close all this. And also, for now, I will remove the AutoCAD image from here. So I will just select it and I will press Ctrl/ so it can be removed from our screen. And you can see that if I update everything, I have just the JavaScript image here. So let's go back to our JS file. And how you change the appearance of your image? You simply write GSAP dot from, okay, and then let's write the dot logo, comma, and then duration will be 1.5, comma, opacity will be equal to 0. Okay, then let's write one more comma, scale will be equal to 0.3, and here's how you control the appearance, and then you can simply do is equals back in parentheses. Okay, let's write a semicolon here and let's run our code. So you can see that, guys, since we did the scale from 0.3 in 1.5 seconds and this will be back, you can see that we're getting our file starting very fast appearing and then slow down in the end. For example, if I do like this bounce, you'll see that it will appear in kind of a different way, right? In a bouncing way. So this bounce back and so on, it actually applies to every type of appearance or every type of action on our screen, and it's quite useful. Also, another thing I want you to notice is that, for example, here, if I do instead of from, if I do to, this means that it will get from bigger size, I mean our image will get from bigger size to smaller one, right? Because this is here changed to 2. So if I change it, you can see that it is getting from bigger to smaller size with the bouncing ease. So this is how you can actually understand and learn GSAP in the best way, by playing and practicing with the different parameters, which I really advise you to do. Play with absolutely everything that you like. You can see that the opacity here is coming to 0 in that modification and so on. It is very easy to learn the parameters, play with them, and then make your own website by adding multiple parameters here. So this was the lesson for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was quite short, but I'm sure that it was also at the same time very useful for you. So thank you very much for watching that video, and tomorrow I will show you how you can edit multiple objects. Now we're gonna move to multiple objects on your screens. Thanks for watching. If you want to build more projects with GSAP and create your own website, you can check out the complete course in the description. I helped to more than 200,000 students already to achieve their software development goals, so definitely check out the rest of my courses, from which you can learn pretty much everything. Multiple objects synchronization. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the course. Today we're going to add multiple objects in our screen, and I will show you how you can quite easily work with them. So I want to add some additional circles here in our screen. First, let me delete the JavaScript that we wrote from last time, and here just under the AutoCAD file that we removed, or AutoCAD image that we removed from our screen, I will create a new div object, okay? And this div object will be of a class circle, okay? And we're going to apply that. And actually, since I want multiple amount of circles here, I will copy that and simply paste it under it. So let's create 5 circles, okay? We have 5 circles now, but see, if we run the file, you'll see that you cannot see actually any circles. This is because we didn't define them in our CSS file. So let me create some space here, and we're going to define what actually circles mean. So let's write here circle, and then here I'll write height will be equal to 50 pixels, then width will be also equal to 50 pixels, then position will be relative to each other, then right will be equal to minus 400 pixels, then bottom will be equal to minus 100 pixels, okay? Then the background color, I will make it equal to red, so you can distinguish them easily. Then the border radius will be 50%, and finally the display will be inline block, okay? So they're gonna be in the same line. but let's see how they actually look on our screen. Let's run our code, and you can see that now here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, right? And if we check elements, you can see that we have the circles right here, and each of those lines of code that we wrote here refers to these circles, as you can see here. And then we have the JavaScript image right here. Okay, this is quite useful. So now, since we have all the circles implemented, let's do some actions with them. So let's write GSAP dot from, and then I write here dot circle, comma, and here we will do duration 1, then opacity will be equal to 0, then I will write y equal to 150, which always x and y refer to the x and y coordinates of the circles. So if x is how we're moving on the horizontal line, the y is how we have movement on the vertical line. Okay, so now we added 1 second, the opacity will be 0, which means that they will appear from 0 to 100% opacity. And then let's do is, and we'll do back. Okay, so let's see how that works. Let's save it. So you can see that if we move it, guys, the circles are just appearing, all of them at the same time. Okay, with the back visualization. So let's do something different, something more interesting actually. So instead of is, we're going to add some other parameter which is called stagger. Okay, and stagger will be equal to 0.25, which will be the difference in the appearance of the circles. So if I rerun this code, you can see that we have 0.25 seconds between each circle appears, so you get this nice visualization of all the 5 objects displayed one after another. You can also display them randomly actually, or make the circles appear in a random way. Quite simple. So for example, if I delete everything, or actually I will just modify the y, so you can actually create any variable equal to a random variable. So if I do simply here random, I can choose y to be a random number between -200 and 200, right? So what this means is basically that the y will be chosen for each circle separately for a number between -200 and 200. So this will make a random appearance of every circle. Let's see how this actually works. If I restart, you can see that every circle basically appears from a completely different way, right? Some come from the top, some come from the bottom, because this number is completely random. You can see that every time they appear in completely different way, which is quite nice. And if you want to add some randomization in your website and animations there, you can definitely do it with a random parameter here, and you can see how the picture looks way cooler than what you would usually see. So this was everything, guys, I want to share with you for today. And in the next video, I will teach you how you can actually do 2 different animations in the same time. So we're going to apply some actions to the JavaScript image and to the circles, and you will see how that basically works. Thanks for watching.